Hey everyone, welcome back for another video on Legend of Mushroom. This video is gonna be crazy, so sit down and prepare because this is gonna be very wild. I just had the perfect avian on my Warbringer class. I tried more things than before, and now I am completely nuking Sacred Hunters in PvP. This is insane. I'm gonna show you the entire build and I'm gonna show you what is happening in PvP against Matt. I can finally beat Matt for now because I'm pretty sure that after seeing that video, watching that video, he's gonna increase his counter damage resistance because maybe more Warbringers are gonna use that because this is completely broken, guys. I am talking about the new avian we had recently in the game. I had a crazy look and look at the affixes and the growth coefficient. This is exactly what I was looking for. No speeding, on standby, reflect counter, rage bonus. You know what, barrel dodge, get the fuck out of here. I don't want you anymore, alright? Look at that, on standby, global counter plus 27%, reflect counter plus 540%, rage bonus plus 270% crit damage bonus, and almost the max growth coefficient. So the stats given by my avian are maxed out. There is still one more thing that I would need to have a better avian. A mutated affix to increase the efficiency of the other affixes. This is the rarest thing existing in the game and the most broken thing. I am gonna continue breeding this one for ages until I have the mutated affixes with these affixes over there. It is gonna be even more broken. So the reason why that avian is broken, two reasons. The first one, it's increasing by a ton your defense and attack in battle for 5 seconds. 5 seconds is not a lot, but it's 60% defense, 10% attack. If I show you the Warbringer class, just in case you still didn't know about that, you have that skill over there for 8 seconds, converting your defense, a part of your defense into some attack, and a part of your attack into some defense. So the more the defense you have, the more the attack you have, and the more the defense you have, the more the attack you have. I think I said twice the same, but you understood me. Alright, this is broken with that avian. One more thing with that avian. During the 5 seconds, you restore some HP for every 10 basic attack or combo hits taken. So the higher the attack speed of the opponent, the more you're gonna heal your character, but you don't, trust me, you don't care about that. You're gonna receive insane heals. When I'm saying insane, that is insane, okay? I'm gonna show you the build first and then the battles, you know, for the suspense. Or maybe you can switch directly to the end of the video so you will see the battle in PvP I'm talking about since the beginning of the video. But the build is very important. First of all, the stats of the character. You are gonna see this is insane what I have now. Alright, so first of all, very close to the 100% crit rate. This is very important. Close to the 10,000% crit damage. I don't care about the crit resistance. I'm trying to kill tanky players. I don't care about the crit resistance. It is not gonna reduce the damage you take against them, alright? They do damage. Most of the damage are based on max HP. Crit resistance is useless. Ignore combo, I don't care. Ignore counter, maybe if I had a little more, it would help. I'm not even sure about that. No, in fact, no. Martial Sages are not using a lot of counters, maybe just a bit for the B-Pal. Same for the Sacred Hunter class. Yeah, I don't really care about that. You're gonna see the results, alright? Evasion, I don't have a lot. Ignore evasion, I have a lot. Okay, because they sometimes have a lot of evasion. It is important to have some ignore evasion. 235%. I'm maxing that out with my talents in my talent tree. Basic attack multiplier 4000. This is not very important. Counter multiplier, yeah baby. I have 83%, 83,000% now. This is overkill. This is so beautiful. This is so fucking strong. 83,000%. This is thanks to the avian and all the things. I'm gonna show that to you in a moment. What about the rest? The counter damage raise at 5%, you don't care about that. Skill damage raise, you don't care about that. I have only 5%. Boss damage raise, of course, you don't care. Pal damage raise, you don't care about that. This is coming from my runes on my Enchants. I don't care about that. Important now, the pierce. I got 3,600 pierce. I'm trying to get more, but I can't, unfortunately, at least for now. Block, I have a 2,400. Very, very, very nice. Ignore block, that is one more stat, very important here. I'm trying to have some more as well, but pierce first. Then you got the ignore healing. Where is the ignore healing? Ignore healing, ignore healing. Come on, where are you, fucking stat? I thought it was around the healing amount and stuff like that, but it is not here. Normally you have an ignore healing, whatever. These are my final stats over there. 1,423 billion HP, 15,459 million attack, and 5,600 defense. I lowered my defense, I increased my offensive stats. I tried both, and with that build, it's working a bit better if I'm a little bit more aggressive than defensive. I'm gonna show you both, alright? So you know about it. Now it is time for me to show you what I am using exactly on that build, okay? So, for the pieces of gear, of course, crit rate and counter strike on every single piece of gear over there, alright? Very important. For the skills, Blitz Assault, 100 slashes, the tornado, the smoke bomb, and this one to increase your attack speed, because I'm using the Cinder Wolf. If you're not using the Cinder Wolf amount, you don't care about using that. Basically, with the Cinder Wolf, if I show that to you, you're gonna understand why I'm doing that. Okay, no, this is not the right one. When your HP fall down below 39% for the first time, you're basically having a shield, and during that, you're tanking a lot, and you are dealing some extra damage based on your basic attack. The more the basic attacks you can inflict on the target, the more the damage he takes. So it is very important to have a lot of attack speed, so you have more basic attacks on the target. This is how it works. This is why I'm using that, okay? Very important. If you're not using that mount, don't use that. Just replace to have some more crit damage, maybe with a Worldly Snare or something like that. For the pals, energy skill regen, this one to lower the crit resistance of the target. This is very important. The dragon pal to increase your crit damage. This one so the target has more attack speed. Very important for that build, for the avian, and for the counter damage of your character. And finally this one so you have more counter strike and you have a more counter multiplier. Very important. For the relics, crit rate, damage with the skills, the damage of the deer, because you don't have anything better. You want to increase your attack with that book. You want to increase the duration of the Worldly Snare. 100 slashes, sorry, this is better. Basic attack multiplier, you want to increase that, and you want to have the red spore maxed out. Very important for two reasons. I think 2 reasons. Yeah, mainly because it's increasing by a lot your damage directly at the start of the battle, especially with the Warbringer class, okay? Then counted multiplier at the prayer statue, that's very important. I'm gonna show you that right after. For the hero cause, you want to use this one. It's increasing by a lot your attack and your defense, so the more you have, the better. The defense is very important, so you want to use the butterfly, and this one is increasing your counter damage, so this is one more time very important. You already know about the avian. This one is by far the best one to have right now, okay? So focus on this one. It is busted in comparison with the others. For the artifacts, you want to use that sword if you have it. This is by far the best one. If you don't have the sword, you can use the Chrono artifact if you have it, or you can use the Pixel sword. But this one is by far better. You have way more damage and you have more damage resistance, so you are more efficient during the battle. If you don't have any of these, you can use the Beast Robo if you have it, or you can use the Candelabrum artifact, or you can use the Heart if you have this one, or you can use that staff if you have it, or you can use the Staff of Hermes, or you can use this one, probably it's gonna do the job as well, or use whatever you want. Use the best artifact you have. For the back accessory, this is by far the best one to use. You are going to be more tanky and have more pierce in battle. You will inflict way more damage in battle than with the other back accessories. Otherwise, you can use this one. You will be more efficient at the beginning of the battle. This is another one very, very interesting. Or you can use the Fallen Angel. This one is going to be very interesting. Or you can use this one if you want. Or the Tiger back. Or one more time, use the one you want. This one can be very interesting for the defense. I haven't tried. I should retry that with the defensive build. Maybe it's going to do the job. Or you can use this one. This is the free one that you can acquire in the Lucky Spinner. It's increasing by a lot your counter multiplier. This is the one. This is the one. This one is for the combo. or one more time use whatever back accessory you have. For the mounts, this one is very interesting if you can have it. This one is very interesting if you are using that with the snail's pals to lower the movement of the target, and with this one to lower the heals and regeneration of the target. This is a very nice combo. Otherwise, use the cheetah mount if you have it. Otherwise, use this one to increase your defense and stuff like that if you have it, but not a lot of players have this one. Otherwise, use this one. Otherwise, use this one. Otherwise, this one. Otherwise, this one is another great one, and you can have it now through the rush shop. So if you can afford this one, if you don't have better, use this one. Both attack and defense increased in battle. Very nice one for the Warbringer. And now you can get it for free. Otherwise, the Cloud Drifter. Otherwise, this one, very nice one to use when you have the Red Spore maxed out. These are my recommendations, alright? So now, what about the souls? This is the what I am using right now. A bit more in counter, because this is the best source of counter you have in the game, and it is more efficient. You have more counter than the crit damage and the attack over here, alright? Then you want to balance these two, attack and crit damage. Then you want to have some HP, defense, and crit resistance, okay? And the rest, put that into the this one over there. For the affixes, you have the global counter. Try to have the best one you can have over here. You have one on the basic attack soul. You have one on the counter soul. You have one on the crit damage soul. And you have one on the attack soul. Alright, this is what I have at the moment, and it is working perfectly well. For the steals, this is what I am running for that test. The best I can show you. Max out your attack first, then equalize the defense and the crit damage and the HP. Crit resistance, and yeah, you know what, it can be even better, because as I said, I don't care about the crit resistance, but this is the build I'm using to beat other DPS classes. Otherwise, you have something else that can work, that max out your defense first and balance your other stats here. HP, attack, and crit damage, it can work pretty well as well. For the runes on the Ancients, this is what I am running. One set of counter, two sets of crit damage. On this one, you want to have counter damage first, global counter as second affix here. I maxed out everything here. It took me months, but I was able to do that. A lot of time, but it is worth it. 3 green potion a week. Try to max out your global counter damage only. On this one, a pal damage raise, you can have some combo damage raise, you can have some counter damage raise, whatever you want. It's not important to be tanky players. Global counter damage maxed out 25%. On this one, you want to have a crit damage as main. This is very important, mandatory. Global counter as a secondary stat, everything into that. For this one, global counter only. Then if you can have some resistances, it's even better. Global counter one more time, and global counter over here for a total of 154% global counter. This is almost the max. Then it's a matter of min-maxed out. But this is almost the max you can have. Maybe 160% at most. This is already overkill. And now, what about that? I balanced my stat over here. I'm trying to have the tail. You can have that when you have 120 everywhere. And this is for my stats. Otherwise, you do whatever you want. But balancing the stats here is pretty cool, I guess. For the talents, the most important one is on the left here on the Fury tree. You want to max out your counter damage first. Then you want to have the healing amount and healing rates at the end if you have some feathers left. On the right, you want to have the crit damage and the counter multiplier over here. You can have some more basic attack if you want. I'm going to focus on that maybe later. You want to have the talent on the right here. Very important one, because with the Cinder Wolf or the Cheetah mount or the Crescent mount, when you are falling down below 20% HP, your character is remaining alive. And during that period, you have way more attack speed, and way more crit damage. Which means that you have another opportunity to kill the target before dying. This is giving you a crazy burst at the end, so take this one. This is a super nice one. Okay, then you want to take this one on the left, so if you can survive at least 15 seconds in battle, you have some more attack speed. It is working so well when you are using the Cinder Wolf, so you have a crazy burst at the end. This is very important. Then crit rate, and if you can survive more than 45 seconds, you have some more attack. This is not a very important one if you are not using the Cinder Wolf. Maybe avoid using that at the top and try to get better on the other talent trees, but you don't have a lot of solutions. I'm going to show that to you in a moment. Then you want to take some attack first and defense first over the HP, because the Warbringer is converting the attack into defense and the defense into attack better than having some HP on that build. Some more healing if you want some. And then you have the ignore evasion on every single tree at the bottom. This is very important to be these kind of players, okay? Now, let's go on the archery. You want to get this one on the left, so you have some more crit damage in battle. Over time, very important one. Then you want to take the crit damage bonus on the left here. Very important one as well. And finally, the ignore evasion at the bottom. On the right, ignore evasion, you want to have the base attack speed. It can help you to survive against mages to prevent the pre-blitz damage, okay? The more the attack speed you have, the better. And then this is everything you want to take here. Some attack and defense first over the HP as always, and then a healing amount and a healing rate over here at the top. This is what I recommend to take. Then on the sorcery tree, this one of course on the left, so you have more attack in battle every time you cast some skills. Very important one to take. The wand, very important to be tanky players. You want to max it out. And then the ignore evasion one more time. Then jump on the right and take this skill over here, the skill regen, the ignore evasion, the attack and defense of all the time everywhere on all the trees. And then on the tame beast, you want to go on the right to take the wand effect, okay? And then max out your attack and defense. So this is basically what I am using. If you are curious about something, I'm never showing that on my videos, but if I go to the tech park, this is what I am pushing at the moment. Balancing my stats, okay? I have a little more into the attack here and then the defense, and then I'm trying to balance my HP now, okay? So this is basically what I am trying to use right now. I think I showed everything almost. My Guardian to finish with, I'm using the Domain Hunter because when I'm using this one, basically I have more tenacity penetration with this one, so I can kill the Tide Spirit of the target very fast in battle. Which is preventing them from healing and blocking more damage and having more damage resistance, okay? Because if I show you that one, you are going to understand what I'm talking about. I'm giving you all the details in this video. They are getting more attack until the end of the battle. They will always have that, okay? You can't prevent that. But you can prevent when you kill them the final damage resistance increase, the HP restoration increase, the ignore crit, ignore combo, ignore counter, the block, the power resistance and stuff like that. The faster you kill that Guardian, the better. And this is the reason why I want to go for the Flame Spirit later. And don't tell me, oh, you should take this one only, you are going to regret that. No. No, no, no. Maybe I'm going to regret that, but if nobody tries that, it will never work. Okay? I'm pretty convinced that this one is gonna have a crazy amount of tenacity penetration. If some of you have this that Guardian, can you send me a picture of the stats over here? Just because I want to know about that. I can't find that anywhere. I would love to see the tenacity penetration of that Guardian over there, the Flame Spirits and the Little Spirits as well. So if you have these pictures, guys, please send them to me. Thank you so much. Okay, so for the remodel, this is what I have. Global tenacity penetration, almost. I'm trying to have that first. Final damage boost, final damage resistance, the global attack, the counter strike, both purple and tenacity penetration over there. This is what I'm trying to have. And some tenacity, of course, because I was lucky to get that. This is what I have basically right now. And one more thing, the Magic Furnace, if you are curious about it, I am tier 15 at the moment. I'm close to get some more stats over here. Final damage rest 4%. And these are the stats it's giving to me. And it is giving some pierce, blocks, stuff like that as well. So this is the reason why I have what I have on my account right now. Alright everyone, a lot of talk, a lot of blah blah, as always, 19 minutes already. Now it is time to see what it does in battle. Are you ready, guys? I'm gonna show you two things, okay? Two different results. The first one, when I was using the War versus Martial Sages with a lot of defense, and then I'm gonna show you that real one, okay? Well, let's see that. So, I lost that battle. That was my build with a lot of defense, so we can compare both. Check the timer, check my health, check his health, alright? Start of the battle. Look at that. I'm taking almost no damage at all, which is crazy because my defense is so high that I can resist a lot of the damage. And I can inflict some damage already. Look at that. He's gonna take a first burst. Because more than 15 seconds in battle, I have more attack speed and stuff like that. And so, look at that. Starting to deal some damage. Pretty good, pretty good. Pretty good, but not enough. Now, I'm gonna proc the Sinnoh Wolf and look at the burst. Look at the damage and look at the healing I received. Look at the healing I received, guys. This is because of the avian only. And look at the damage he took. That is crazy, 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 crazy. But I died already. I died, unfortunately. And my burst wasn't enough. But now, with the build I showed you, with these scrolls, between the two battles, I just changed the scrolls. Alright? So let's see what is happening now. Full offensive now. Don't blink, guys, because it's gonna go very fast. It's gonna go very fast. Look at the damage he's taking right at the beginning already. This is insane, guys. But I'm taking more damage as well. Look at that. The defense is insane. Okay? If you want to survive. Ballista Soul on him. He's gonna proc the Sinnoh Wolf. And look at the burst I will have. Look at that. Don't blink now. Look at the damage he's taking. And look at my health regenerating. I'm full life, guys. I am full life. Okay, Ballista Soul on him. And now it's time for the second wave of damage. Look at that. This is so close. And all of a sudden... BAM! I was able to win that. I was able to win that. This is insane. I use a fucking Warbringer class. And I'm able to nuke a tanky build with a Warbringer. This is insane. I am so fan of that class. I am so proud of what I built. This is insane. But just for instance, I'm going to show you the build of Mats. So you know what he is running at the moment? That's a Sacred Hunter build. 213 million power. Okay, he has more than me. I think I can compare, so you will have the detail. I'm going to compare that, okay? So this is the power I have. He has a 10 million more power, and look at the crazy stats difference. Almost 4,000 billion HP. So what I'm telling you, that build is insane. I'm not lying. You have the stats in front of me, okay? This is insane. He has the same amount of defense, a little bit less attack, but this is a tanky build, okay? So this is normal. Crit resistance, almost 4,000%. One more time, I'm telling you that the build I'm running is just completely insane. What about the rest? Ignore, counter, he has 40%, okay? One more time, insane. Evasion, he has 200%. That's one of the best build I've ever seen. Mats has an insane build. He is so fucking strong. This is the reason why I have such a high ignore evasion here. Almost 9% regeneration, which is very high as well. Okay, my ignore regen is here. It's called ignore regen. It's not called ignore healing. Okay, my bad. So this is here. What about the rest? 5,500% basic attack multiplier. Counter damage res 51%, so he can have a better than that to beat me. If he had at least 70%, I wouldn't beat him. 70% is making a big difference for me. 80%, no chance at all. So if he decides to increase that in the future, I won't beat him anymore. That's for sure. What about the rest? Here, look at the crazy stats he has after that. 78% power damage res, 68% skill damage res. I told you, he has one of the best, strongest build I've ever seen in the game. Congratulations, bro. This is so high. Pierce. And he has a lot of Pierce. That is interesting. Ignore Pierce 2000. So this is like I had 1,600 Pierce. So ignoring only 16% of the counter damage resistance. Ignore block. Okay. Block. Almost a 5,000 block. So ignore block, I had 1,200. It is like he had 3,600 block. 36% more damage res. Busted. Completely busted. What about the rest? Damage res, 25%. That is an insane build. Look at that. Attack speed bonus, 32%. Very interesting. So this is the reason why I reflect so much damage. Final damage boost. Wait, what? I have a little bit more final damage boost. Where is it coming from? And he has a more final damage res because he's right above me, but I'm getting close to that. Oh, from the Guardian. Yes, it is coming from my Guardian. I have a little more thanks to that. Insane. Insane build. Insane build. Insane build. You know what? Let's rewatch that one more time. Just for the fun of it. And I'm gonna end the video on that, guys. So if you were sad because you didn't have the rabbit pal, now don't care about that. The rabbit avian, sorry. Just focus on the new avian here. It is making wonders. This one is by far the best avian for the class. Look at that. Look at that. I am nuking him. This is insane. You imagine how much resistance he has, how much HP he has, and the damage he's taking right now. That is completely wild. Let me know what you think about that in the comment below, guys. Have a really nice day. That was Akhtar. See you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.